Jaw-dropping landscapes, gorgeous old cities, amazing architecture and inspiring history can be also found outside of famous and crowded European destinations. In the era when we try to avoid crowds, many famous European hotspots lost some of their appeal, and that is why I will show you 10 less crowded but absolutely spectacular places in Europe that should be on your 2022 travel list. Hi guys, my name is Rok and I spent last 10 years traveling around Europe as a tour guide, and I can't wait to show you the best places to visit in Europe in 2022. Besides the famous and crowded coastline, Montenegro also has a spectacular but less famous and almost deserted DURMITOR Mountains, a UNESCO World Heritage Site of outstanding natural beauty. In unspoiled, dramatic and rugged mountains, River Tara carved the deepest gorge in Europe, and it is crossed by a spectacular arch bridge. Endless forests and beautiful glacial lakes are part of this completely unspoiled piece of heaven, as tourism is slowly trickling to this part of the Balkans. Here you can enjoy leisurely hikes and hardcore mountaineering, do some spectacular cycling, great whitewater rafting and canyoning, while in winter here are also top ski slopes. This outdoor paradise with spacious pastures and spectacular narrow roads under stunning mountain peaks offers some of the most spectacular and unspoiled experiences in Europe. Next we're going to Italy, full of amazing tourist hotspots, but here are also some less crowded amazing cities like Verona. The city is home of the most famous lovers in the world, Romeo and Juliet, and has some of the most preserved Roman buildings, including a spectacular 2000 years old arena. Picturesque city on a bend of the Adige River is an outstanding example of a town that has developed progressively and uninterruptedly for over 2000 years, and is full of old Roman gates, city walls, charming streets, beautiful medieval squares, and precious Renaissance artwork. This beautiful and romantic city is full of myths and legends, and if you want to see the best things to do in Verona, check out my video in the top right corner. Next on the list is the increasingly popular but still not overcrowded Budapest. Charming Hungarian capital is made of two sides separated by a majestic Danube River. The Buda side was home of the royal residences and offer a romantic experience with the royal palace, the Matthias church and the small alleys around the castle district. On the other side is bustling and vibrant Pest with elegant 19th century palaces, rich museums, impressive Hero Square, the Parliament Building, St. Stephen Basilica and other inspiring places like the Jewish Quarter. Buda and Pest are connected by beautiful bridges built in the 19th century when Budapest, together with Vienna, served as a capital city of a mighty Austro-Hungarian Empire. If you want to see the best things to do in Budapest, check out my video in the top right corner. For the next breathtaking place, we're going to the French part of the Alps, where the first Winter Olympic Games took place. Chamonix is home to the highest mountain in Europe and the largest glacier in France. The best part is, you don't have to be a great hiker to see it all. Cop trains and cable cars could do all the hard work for you. I still remember the warm fuzzy feeling when walking inside the glacier. But the most unforgettable experience was taking a cable car to Aiguille du Midi, where I saw Mont Blanc from up close. If you want to see my Chamonix experience, check the video in the top right corner. Next amazing place is also in the Alps, only this time in Slovenian foothills, where you can find magical, fairy tale-like Lake Bled. It has emerald green waters, a small island with a church, and an ancient castle on a cliff with a history spanning more than 1000 years. Lake Bled has a mild alpine climate and hot springs offering healing properties. In summer, the lake is famous for rowing and swimming, while in winter, it turns into a giant ice skating rink. The main landmark of Lake Bled is its small island with a 15th century church that can be reached by traditional pletna boats run by pletna oarsmen, a vocation that is handed down from generation to generation. If you want to see the best things to do in Lake Bled, check out my video in the top right corner. We are moving to Greece and to one of the world's oldest cities, the cradle of Western civilization and the birthplace of democracy, Athens. It seems a bit strange that one of the world's top tourist destinations got on this list. But unlike other tourist hotspots, here you can stay outside in the fresh air all the time while admiring amazing ancient Greek monuments as well as heritage from Roman, Byzantine and Ottoman times. The most impressive landmark of Athens is the rocky hill of Acropolis, the very symbol of ancient Greece that served as the most important religious center of ancient Athens. A complex of marble temples overlooking the city is commanded by its biggest temple, Parthenon. There are also beautiful and picturesque old neighborhoods and beautiful archaeological parks with historical ruins. If you want to see the best things to do in Athens, check out my Athens video in the top right corner. Next is one of the most beautiful and best preserved Baroque towns in the world, Salzburg. This beautiful town, nestled at the foothills of the Austrian Alps, is the birthplace of Mozart and a filming location of a movie awarded with 5 Oscars, The Sound of Music. Its unmistakable landmark is mighty fortress on the top of the hill, built more than 900 years ago, that was never captured by foreign troops. Salzburg also has one of the oldest monasteries, a romantic Mirabelle palace surrounded by one of the most beautiful Baroque gardens in Europe, mighty churches and huge palaces. There are also beautiful squares and pedestrian streets surrounded by old narrow townhouses. If you want to see the best things to do in Salzburg, check out my video in the top right corner. Now we are headed to the Croatian coast and its Istria Peninsula. Surrounded by an archipelago of beautiful islets is a small, picturesque coastal town ROVINJ, famous for its beaches. Like other old Istria towns, ROVINJ was home of the Romans, then it was ruled by the Byzantine Empire, and after centuries of instability, it became part of the powerful Venetian Republic that gave the town its rich heritage. Charming and winding narrow stone-paved streets have cascading steps, mysterious old passages, and are surrounded by beautiful Venetian architecture. Amazing beaches, beautiful old town, and rich heritage make ROVINJ one of the best summer holiday destinations. If you want to see the best things to do and the best beaches in ROVINJ, check out my video in the top right corner. One of the most breathtaking sceneries is offered by an exceptional mountain range in the Italian part of the Alps called the Dolomites.
This is majestic.
Thanks to its limestone, these mountains have a unique color and they feature some of the most beautiful mountain landscapes on the planet. Here are vertical walls, sheer cliffs, and deep and long valleys. First time I was drawn to Dolomites was to ride over its beautiful mountain passes, and I immediately fell in love with this place. Every time I come back and I see spectacular mountain cliffs in their distinct light brown color, I have a huge smile on my face. Small charming villages with beautiful houses provide cozy accommodation, and most businesses are family owned. This is an absolute paradise for outdoor lovers. And finally, on the top of my list is one of the most beautiful and sunniest places in Adriatic, Croatian island of HVAR. I've been on HVAR island many times and I never experienced any crowds despite its fame. Beautiful HVAR town and its famous nightlife places are some of the hotspots, but this island is so diverse that everyone can find its own piece of paradise. You can find beautiful and almost empty beaches even in peak season. And if that's not enough, you can hop to nearby islands to discover even more remote coves. If you want to truly see and enjoy the beauty of this landscape, you have to go to one of the mountain peaks. If you want to know more about this paradise, check out my top 10 things to do in HVAR video in the top right corner. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This way, you will help us create more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.